Right. I mean, it's a special group, and
special group.
we've gotten so fortunate. You know, we had a great group with Josh coming up, and we didn't think we'd ever come close to that again. And turns out we've come pretty darn close. It's a great group. You know, it's hard in competitive baseball, travel baseball environment to find legitimately parents pulling for the other kids. And I know that sounds sad in some ways, that there are teams out there where they're waiting for Johnny to fail so that their kid can get their spot. That is not at all the case here. The parents love the kids, all of them like they're their own. The coaches on our team are the same way with the kids. We feel like they're all part of ours. So we're so happy when they get it right and they do something well and they excel, and you can just see them happy. And the players are legitimately, they're not thinking about, you know, I'm waiting for so-and-so to mess up so I can get a crack at their position. They just want everybody to have a good time and feel good about the game. And you don't get that much anymore, particularly with the way travel ball is springing up everywhere and everybody's out for themselves. And this is one of the last pieces of true Little League youth baseball at its purest form.
This is our family. My family, my sister and my mom live 3,000 miles away. This is our family. These are the families, these are the moms that not only help with transportation for my son, but they're the ones that know him and know me better than my own family does. My husband's family, they live in Pennsylvania. They're busy. They haven't been able to come and watch him play. But yeah, this is our family. There isn't a parent or a mom that I would hesitate calling or texting if I got into a jam. These are the ones that helped me keep my wits about me when Ian dislocated his finger. These are the ones that keep me grounded. These are the ones that I would drop everything to do, and I know they would do the same for me.
You know, family is the operative word. This really has been a family, and in all the good ways and in all the ways that our own personal families, sometimes it doesn't go well, and that's how families are. And we know that there are families who are not playing with us now. And I think when we look back in 2 or 3 or 10 years, we'll remember those families and particularly those kids fondly. Sometimes adults get in the way of kids playing games, but that's okay. I mentioned before, I trust, from 1 to 13, I trust my kid with the adults who sit on the bench or sit on these bleachers, and that's important to me.
I think the family situation it's very unique, and I think if you haven't had kids in sports before, that if you have a family that really is kind of abrasive, it kind of wears on the group as a whole. And I've seen that, like I said, with my daughter in basketball. There was a few, 1 or 2 families that you try to dance around and make the best of it, but there's always that, when those families are there, or maybe one parent that gets a little abrasive, and you know, you kind of question yourself whether to approach them and say something or just let it go and hope that, you know, maybe they'll sit far away or not say anything. But I see with this group, everybody is so supportive of all the players just all the way around that there's not really that one where if they sit down, if somebody sits next to you and you kind of like want to scoot away, or, you know, I think that's also huge, especially for the kids, because as much as the parents might not think that they notice, they do notice, and they see that and they pick up on it. But it's a very unique and a very positive situation, I think.
It's been neat getting to know a new set of parents too. I must say that the camaraderie amongst that group is appears to be a really good, well-balanced group of people that know how to have fun and respect each other, and so that's been good as well, getting to know a new group of people.
Well, I still look at the bleacher bums, the moms. It's cliche to say, but it is true. The mothers hold this thing together. Kutchie and Corey are coaching, but it's the moms who hold this together. They sweat it out, they freeze it out. And some of the moms who can't be here because, their kids are doing other things. And, and that's, in our case, our older son, Ethan, plays different sports and he's in high school. And so Kelly can't be at all of the games, but it's important that one of us is here, and I'm a coach, so I'm here anyway. But, of course, from Becky's cookies to Lori Kutchie hauling bags around, which finally we've got the boys understanding that Mrs. Kutchie does not carry baseball bags. Boys, I hope you're listening. No mothers carry baseball bags. But, I think back to Kathy Bruss doing the books. I think to Mike Rice doing the electronic books. Ricey, I'm not calling you one of the moms. But those are the headliners. There's some quiet wisdom, and there's some quiet calm, and there's some quiet glue among the mothers and even grandparents and some of the fathers who aren't as involved as some of us. But like any group, it takes all kinds, and somehow we get it done.
Having been a part of other travel organizations like Luya, like the Frederick Vipers, which was once the Maryland Predators, the Frederick Hustlers, the family atmosphere doesn't exist in those situations. In those situations, it's more about rooting against a player so that your player could get playing time.
Well, Luya, they were just all nice. It was fun to hang out with. But then they still weren't that family tight. They weren't real close,
Yeah, what we're doing here at the pool party wouldn't exist there, and it doesn't exist.
Or like the sleepover.
Yeah,
when we had Brett's sleepover
parties.
and we had like the whole team over, there was like no problems, no issues. They all got along great. You didn't have to raise your voice, nothing.
They policed themselves.
They were perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I would say, for us, I think we came in maybe a year or two after the group had, started playing together, but we definitely were welcomed in, and it's more than just the team, you do feel like it's an extended family, and there's a lot of, support for the kids. I think they support each other, and then the families, with different things that have happened. So it's just a good feeling to have that group of people together.
Mm-hmm. And Becky's cookies and treats
I knew somebody
always
would
help.
mention that.
That brings everyone together. But I agree. We were welcome from the very beginning, and there's been a lot of support. Helping out with rides to practices or tournaments. Connie's been very helpful getting Drew to, when we couldn't get away from work, to get up to Aberdeen, things like that. So it's been a welcoming group. The trip to Myrtle Beach, definitely, I think I probably bonded more than I should have. We had a good time.
Yeah, that was great. And a great balance of baseball and downtime for the kids to be able to be together and the families. So that was an experience that I'm sure those kids won't ever forget.
And we have these memories of these great games and the bad games, and because Becky took the time to set up for us on Facebook our group and come out here and take these pictures. I have pictures of Thomas that I never would have had without you, Becky. And cookies. Becky, our great baker and picture taker. Hey, that rhymes. Our baker and our picture taker. And Becky went through a tough time with job and everything, but we were so grateful to have her that summer all the time, because I missed seeing her. This team has been through 2 of our mothers, breast cancer survivors. One was given her clear bill of health when the team was started, which is Amy, and one was diagnosed in the end of our 10U season, I believe. And so far, God has watched over these two women, and Krista is still battling some health issues, but we are, we pray for her, and she's doing well as far as, right now, which is such a blessing. And what means a lot to the boys, I think it was our 10U season that we started to put the pink ribbon on the uniforms. And ever since then, if the pink ribbon's not on the uniforms, the boys are asking where it is. They understand that two of their mothers, and their mothers, they all together, the team, and they want those pink ribbons on the uniform. And I know this year John's got to collect them and put the ribbon on, but they understand. They're learning. They know. We had that ceremony during the state tournament where Sarah Grace had nominated her mom for the Batgirl breast cancer for the Orioles. For Major League Baseball had, nominate the mom.
Moms, dads, aunts, uncles, everybody who's taken this game, and we have I guess we can call you a celebrity on our hands. Krista was selected by the Orioles earlier this year to be their honorary Batgirl during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So she went down to Memorial State, I'm dating myself now. Went down to Camden Yards and was honored as such on the field. It was a school night in the middle of the school year, so not a lot of the boys were able to make it, so we thought we'd recreate it here. So we asked Krista to come out and be that representative. As I look around the audience and the crowd, I know most of us know somebody or have a loved one who is fighting or has fought breast cancer. And Krista's been very outgoing with that fight. She's been a hero to us as a team. We wear the pink ribbon on our uniform now every year in honor of that, so we can always remember. I always tell my boys, the left patch with the Cal Ripken on it is about baseball. The right with the ribbon is about life. So I thought it was a real fitting way to start this with just remembering what's important in life and what's a game. Baseball is a game. The struggles of life are what we deal with every day, and Krista's sort of that symbol for us. So I want us to remember that. So what we're going to do, we have a couple things for you. I'll start with this. Becky, one of the things, the Baltimore Orioles were supposed to get Krista a pink bat. They ended up doing it. But in the meantime, Becky got this for you, signed by all the boys and the coaches on the team to remember what a great person you are and what an inspiration you are to us as a team. And in the symbol of what really this is all about, I contacted UMAC the other day to let them know what we were doing, and this is really touching. They put together a baseball for you, signed by their players. UMAC 11U is rooting for you. So thank you guys. It was a great touch. Thank you. All right. So on that, now the pressure begins. It's first pitch time. How did we do at the Oriole game? You go okay? Whatever works for you. Yeah, I don't want anything popping. Okay. All right, Nick, you want to line up behind home plate for your mom? I'll take your. Hey, let me have all of this. Whatever as best you can do. That's. Nick's got it. He's the starting catcher today. He's got it figured out. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, Krista.
The bat says a lot more than anything that was personally given to me. I think the most important part of this story is the family aspect with that we talked about earlier. You'll notice that the bat has pretty much, it has everyone's name, all of the players' names on this. And anytime someone has sports memorabilia, you usually have it signed by something, either a famous person or people that are just I guess, heroes. And I have to kind of give it back to all the boys, because most of you know the story about my daughter and Becky Rice coming up with this plan to nominate me for the MLB Orioles honorary Batgirl, and they kindly gave me that honor. The Major League Baseball team, unfortunately, did not buy the bat. That was part of the whole entire story. So I believe it was Justine, Becky, and the rest of the team went to St. Louis and actually had this bat made for me. Coach Cutchy and the whole coaching staff and the whole team presented this with me in a very emotional way at one of the games. But I think the part that's so endearing to me is not only did all of you show love enough to seek out something that was, again, just an object, but the love that is here. This is my official bat. Not the one from MLB, but this. And if you look at these heroes, and these are the famous young men, not the MLB players, not the Orioles, no offense, or any other organization, because again, this was what love does. Not only did you symbolically show that, but you went and purchased something that, gosh, is just so deeply touched my heart, that for the rest of my life, and especially for Mickey, he knows that his friends had his back during a really tough time for our family. A lot of you came to the game to see that honor, but bottom line is that this is just one visual of what love does. And I mean, these are the famous future baseball players, maybe for MLB, but regardless, they're all just impeccably for, I guess, history's mark of the rest of the story. And I can tell you, I've been in touch with a lot of the other honorary Batgirls all over the country. None of them have a bat this special.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again this season, the Orioles and Major League Baseball have partnered with Susan G. Komen for the Cure to raise awareness and support for the fight against breast cancer through the honorary Batgirl contest. Tonight, we are pleased to recognize a dedicated Orioles fan who has gone to battle against breast cancer. She is a mother of 3 children and a survivor of triple-negative breast cancer. Her story of inspiration and strength embodies the message of hope behind going to bat against breast cancer. Fans, please join us in welcoming tonight's honorary Batgirl. Okay, Krista, whenever you're ready, it's your pitch. Information and to check out the commemorative items available for auction to support the...
Well, and I have one more thing to say about family. This will be brief and perhaps it'll be edited out. I lost my father last year. And so the concept of the concept of family was driven home. Edit that, please.
Well, I can't. I'll end up crying, Corey. You can't even unpack family. I think family are people who act like family. And I mean, you all know, for my family, we've had a couple tragedies here in the last couple years. And if it wasn't for this particular baseball team, I don't know how Mickey would have done. I don't think it's always about baseball. I know for me, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2011, all of the team came together with symbolism, with breast cancer ribbons on the jackets to kind of dictate some struggles in life. I remember Steve Welty showing up at my house, and all of actually most of the family showing up with food to feed my kids, and with tears in the eyes, like grown guys showing my son how to roll. And I just, that's what family does. They kind of come in and support and hold you when you can't. And not having a family that did that for us, you became that family. There's no words of gratitude that I can say, Mickey, anyone can say, because it's always in your actions and prayers and just little things. I can't think of, I mean, everyone on the team made sure Mickey didn't miss a game. I don't know how that's possible. And you all were part of that. I can't just, it wasn't just one person, it was everybody. Or especially, I have no idea how he made it to games if it wasn't for all of you. You can't say thank you enough for that. You know, and I know that no matter what happens with me personally, that you have impacted my whole family, Andrew and Sarah included, for the rest of their lives, so that when they're grown and they're coaches or they're playing, that they will do the same thing, because that's what love does. Family doesn't have to be by blood. It's what you do.